Welcome to the Thicc Spooky Ghouls Podcast, where we discuss all things strange, paranormal, and unexplained.
These episodes are live recorded on Twitch and cut to fit Spotify's format. If you want to catch us live, we do our podcast once a month on Twitch.
But hello, good evening, everybody. We've got the Thicc Spooky Ghouls episode 27 happening today. Thank you for everyone that's joining us here today. We've got the lovely Miso Thorny back, and we've got our special guest, Birdie. Hello, Homer Batman. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Let me go ahead and get into the VC and say hello to our co-hosts.
Hola, ¿cómo
Hello.
estás?
So, did you guys get to listen to the Christmas episode that I recorded for the fact that we missed our Christmas episode because you guys were sick?
Yes. Oh
You
my
did?
god, the plague.
You did? Okay, so this is what I was talking about. You guys see this? So I'm gonna be mailing this to my dear Miso Thorny. Yeah, I'm gonna mail one to Miso Thorny, and then I've got one for Birdie. So I got 3 glow-in-the-dark gherkins that are Christmas ornaments that we can, have for our own Christmas trees. So we're just gonna keep our gherkins, and we'll probably pass it on as tradition to whoever we want to pass them on. But yeah, I've got your gherkins. So I got these made. Miso, I wanted to get a good care package to bring it to you. Me and Birdie can meet up face to face, so I don't have to box and ship everything for Birdie. Me and her can see each other face to face. But yeah, well, the train had to be a part of the podcast. But yeah, we've got 3 glow-in-the-dark gherkins.
Always does.
That can go in our Christmas tree, and I figured it would be. Sorry we missed last month, you guys. Hopefully the spooky slumber parties kept you guys entertained. Oh wait, why didn't I switch it? There we go. There we go. Oh, see, we've got the beautiful Birdie right over here. Hey Birdie, what's up? I love your new model. It's so cute. And then we've got our beautiful Miso over here, who is trying to stay warm because it is freezing cold where she's at.
So cold here.
I can't complain about it being cold here.
Big fan of human rights.
We are a big fan of human rights. We are.
Big
in
fan.
case you guys didn't
I
know.
flash everybody with my human rights. That's right.
Hey.
All right, human rights.
To be fair, I hate to be this way, but when we're walking around wearing a shirt, it's one of the first places people tend to look is right. So it will make them read it. Naturally their eyes will just go.
I'm with it.
Instead of here, they kind of go there. So it goes from here to there, and they're like, "Oh, gotcha."
I still have my Christmas tree up, so I'm definitely going to put it on my tree before I take it down. I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't taken it down yet.
But yes, I will make sure that I'm gonna have to get a care package set up for you so we can send you your pickle. Your Christmas gherkin.
Pickle.
But I thought it would be a cute little tradition. I actually did 2 traditions. I started 2 traditions last year in December. So, you know how we learned about the Yule cats with our beautiful Kate, right? She talked about the Yule cat. Yeah. And so, sorry, my brain just completely shut down for a second. What was I talking about again? Yule cats. Yule cats. Yeah, so you know how she told us a story about the Yule cats, right? So 2 traditions that I started last year was our Christmas gherkin, which we're probably going to start this year since I'm not going to get it mailed to you guys until... so we'll get it to you guys, but I wanted to start the pickle tradition, and then the other tradition that I actually did was right after Thanksgiving, I started asking for all of my nieces and nephews foot sizes or sock sizes, and I bought my nieces and nephews socks to keep them protected from the Yule cat.
That's adorable. You got to.
Yeah, so that's my 2 traditions. They don't know it yet because I feel like their parents would be mad if I talk about stuff like this to them at such a young age. But maybe when they're older, when they're older, I'll be like, "You guys want to know why I always give you guys socks?" Just.
I protect you, right?
You don't even know. I protect you so hard.
No.
But yeah, so we bought them. We bought them some socks as their as like their Christmas gifts. We got them toys too, but I also wanted to make sure that each one got a set of socks as a gift. So that was how our Christmas went. And because our theme is Christmas in January, how was you guys' Christmas?
It was pretty good.
Good-ish, besides being insanely freaking ill. Didn't really do anything because I was just dying on my couch.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you missed time with your family. That is so upsetting. Like, when you told me you seemed so upset and bummed out and like, oh, my baby.
Yes. Well, and it was the first Christmas without my little brother, so it was, it was a weird Christmas, but, I was happy to be able to, I kind of FaceTimed with them while they opened the gifts I got them. I was like, I want to see you open your gifts. Get on camera. Let me see you.
Yeah, it was really, really hard to like when my mom was on her last leg, and it was during COVID because she passed away in 2020. So during COVID, the pandemic, like, we really couldn't spend time with other people, so it was a very lonely holiday.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But anyways, comes with joy and sadness. And today, we're going to do some Christmas in January. And I actually did some more research on my other topic because I was so stressed that it was going to be so short. So instead of being just 1 page of notes, it's now a page and a half, almost 2 pages of notes for that one. Ooh. So, did you guys want to say anything else before we got started? Did you guys get everything you wanted for Christmas?
I did. I got a lot of good shit for Christmas this year.
My biggest thing on my wish list didn't come true. Maybe this year.
What?
I got not much, honestly. Like, I got clothes. That's about it. Which I'm
sorry, Birdie.
Look, I'm thankful for whatever I get, but at the same time, like, I gave them like a good 3 weeks in advance, bro. Come on, get it together.
Sorry, my beanie was acting annoying. It started it.
Bad beanie.
Yeah, it's a bad beanie.
Fighting with an inanimate object.
Whoa. Okay, I fight with walls too,
I fight with all the things.
All right, there we go. I had to sit with my legs crossed. So, yeah, I've got my Big Fan of Human Rights t-shirt, but we made a deal with a lot of our friends for the Christmas holidays, is that we didn't want any gifts, and we also weren't going to get anybody gifts. So the only people I got gifts for was my nieces and nephews. And then, of course, I got my sister, my brother gifts, but they weren't Christmas gifts. They were gifts from when I went to Disneyland, and we went to Disneyland in December. So they weren't actually Christmas gifts. They were gifts from us being on vacation. So aside from that, we only gifted our babies, our nieces, nephews, and then my niece, I sent her some money because she's an adult and she's in the military and it's expensive everywhere. So I just sent her some money.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
I miss her. She wasn't able to join us this season, and she's hoping she can join us for February, and we'll see. All right, so
I hope so.
Are you guys ready for the podcast to start?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm pretty ready.
I'm gonna tuck my arms in because it's cold.
All right, so today my topic is a tulpa not really a tulpa, but we'll get to that. The Elf in the Shelf is what I'm going to be covering. I figured we would get really, really good Christmas spirit. I really, really think the Elf in the Shelf is really adorable. So let's go ahead and have you guys heard of Elf in the Shelf? People in the chat, have you heard of Elf in the Shelf? Do you participate?
Heard of? I fought him.
Do you guys participate in the tradition, the Christmas edition of Elf in the Shelf? Like, you guys make...
I do not, just because I don't have kids. I know a lot of people do it for their kids.
Yeah, yep.
I used to when I was a
kid.
Only
for kids, guys. I don't. Only for kids, actually. Yeah, it's not me.
That's great.
Not guilty.
Nah. I remember. I remember when I was a kid. Yeah, that's when I fought him.
Yeah. So, let me tell you how Elf on the Shelf came to be. So, Elf on the Shelf is actually a fairly new tradition, since it began actually around 2005. And now it's kind of known all over the world. Like you can see it on TikTok during Christmas time. You've got different people posting videos of Elf on the Shelf doing something like mischief or leaving, or them setting up like little elf footprints all over the kids' like path from the bedroom to the Christmas tree. They have like little elf prints. So there people go crazy. So people absolutely love the tradition of Elf on the Shelf. And then the social media just shows different ways for people to, participate in the tradition. And so they post all their different ideas for Elf on the Shelf. There's lots of blogs and lots of groups that are like, hey, what are you doing for Elf on the Shelf? And they kind of share ideas on what their goals are, kind of get ideas from each other on what they can do special for Elf on the Shelf. So how did the Elf on the Shelf tradition begin? Like I said, it's fairly new. And when I found out about it, I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I had a bunch of kids that like absolutely told me that they hate Elf on the Shelf. And I'm all like, is it because you're naughty?
No.
Is it because you're naughty? Because I think that's why.
Naughty.
So
No. No. It's because he's a snitch.
He is a spy for Santa. A cute spy, but he's a spy for Santa. But anyways, the tradition actually began in 2005, but around 2004, Carol Abersold and her daughter Chanda Bell decided that they were going to write a book on their family tradition of an elf that was sent from Santa to watch over the children around Christmas time. So that was like a tradition that they had, like a little game that they had for their family. And they decided to write a story about that specific elf. So it was inspired by a tradition that they had. The three of them then devoted the next 3 years promoting their Elf on the Shelf books. Their hard work paid off because in 2008, the Elf in the Shelf books actually won Best Toy Award by Learning Express. And they were also known as the Book of the Year Award from the Creative Child Awards. And they were also known as National Best Book Award, sponsored by the USA Books. So, with how successful it is, this family ended up creating a company called the Lumistella Company. And the Lumistella Company is the company that sells the books, that sells the plushies, and they are the ones that ran the website and all that stuff. So they're very, very much involved in the Elf on the Shelf. So,
right,
for those of you guys that don't know, like the actual like story behind Elf on the Shelf, the plot of the Elf on the Shelf books was actually written from like a viewpoint of the elf. And the elf was sent by Santa to observe, aka spy on the children's behavior during the holiday season. So while he's like getting ready for December 25th, he's sending out his little elf agents to make sure that the kids are staying in line for the holiday season. So basically, the story is about this elf being sent there, and he is there to make sure, like, to report to Santa and to help keep the Christmas magic alive is the thing. So they were sent there to observe the children during the holidays, aka spy on them, but it's fine. After being created, the name of the child the elf is supposed to watch are given Christmas magic. So, like, they basically wait, and then Santa's like, here's your child, and then they send the elf to the child. And then, and so once they get launched is when they actually obtain some Christmas magic themselves. And then the elf would head back to the North Pole every night and give the report to Santa, and then that will help Santa determine if the child belongs in the good list or the naughty list. So this is what the story
traveling.
Is. Yeah, they come back every night. And
Jesus.
And so Santa will know if the child belongs in the naughty or nice list. But the thing is, the elf is not allowed to be touched by a child. Because if the child touches the elf, the elf will lose its magic. So no more magic for the elf. So
Good.
our little
I put them paws on them.
So this is how the parents teamed up with the elves, right? So the parents would play a little hide and seek game with the elf, and the elf gets to work and watch the children and observe the children while they're hiding, right? So parents find different ways to hide Elf on the Shelf, and sometimes some parents have fun and leave clues, like I mentioned on the thing on where the elf is. And so that elf basically just participates in the hide and seek. So each book that you buy gets its own shelf. So it's not just a book that you're getting your own elf. And on the last page of the books, there's actually there's actually a page that's blank. In the book, there is a designated for families to document their elf's name. So basically, in the back of that, you get to name the elf and then name the name of the family that the elf is taking care of. And it's like a little certificate. Cute. I guess it's a little the equivalent of like a contract or certificate for you and the elf's partnership, because that
reminds me of when you used to get Cabbage Patch Kids. You sign their little birth certificate and things.
Mm-hmm. Or when you make Build-A-Bears, you can make their little Build-A-Bears also.
Oh, I've never got to do that.
Yeah, Build-A-Bears, you get to give them a birthday, you get to give them a name, and then
that's cute.
Some of their options are you can record a little voice or record a song or choose a song that they have available, and you can put it in the middle of the bear, and then you can push the bear. You can put it in their paw, you can put it in their stomach, you can have multiple of them that you can put, but it's very expensive. The more you put, the more expensive it gets, but yeah, I've made a few. Yeah, they do. They get you with all the extra features. So basically, the last page of every book that they buy that has an elf is basically a adoption certificate, meaning that the family has adopted that elf. So they become a part of your family. So on November 26, 2011, CBS aired a 30-minute animated direct-to-TV special titled An Elf Story, The Elf on the Shelf, directed by Chad Elkoff. You can now watch it on Netflix. Back then it was only, available for that, but it is now available on Netflix. You can watch it with the kids, or you can watch it by yourself if you like Christmas movies like me. You can watch it by yourself. It's on Netflix. No one's going to judge you if you watch it by yourself, because I watch it by myself. But yeah, especially when feeling down, it's one of those things. Christmas movies have a way of making you rediscover hope when you're feeling hopeless. And I actually watched Raya today. I was like feeling so down. And the more I watched Raya, the more I started crying, because it became more and more relevant with what's happening here in the United States right now, and just how people are. So I have been emotional all day today. And so maybe I need to watch some Christmas movies here. But Raya made me feel really good. I watched it, and it ignited my sadness, it ignited my crying, it ignited my anger, and then it ignited my hope. So movie took me for a spin today, for sure. I got emotional. But anyways, you can now watch it on Netflix if you wanted to. It's been a roller coaster of a day. Sorry we started late, you guys. I was struggling to get it together. All right, so after their movie came out, they became even more popular, and then in 2013, the Elf on the Shelf book hit the #1 spot in the U.S. Today's bestsellers lists. And later on the year, around October in 2013, they decided that they can publish another illustrated book, because they're trying to capitalize on the attention that it's getting. And they made it the Elf on the Shelf a birthday tradition. It was a marketing move in their part, and they were hoping that they can capitalize on the fact that the book was doing so well that they wanted to make another one. And part of their hopes was keeping the interest of people and the Elf on the Shelf series past the holiday season. So they were trying to get out of the holiday season rut. They wanted to make it like a year-round thing. But I feel like that's kind of what makes it special, is the fact that it is a year-round thing. I feel like that's...
I don't know why I keep yawning, but...
It's okay. You're cold, Babs. Your body wants to sleep. Please don't.
No sleep. But say I haven't been sleeping, but yeah, I feel like that takes away the special like little the thing that makes it special is like it's like for Christmas of
Yeah. You know, you relate it with Christmas time, you relate it with the end of the year, you relate it with your family. I feel like it's got its charm because of that, you know? And so they tried to make it a birthday tradition to try and capitalize on it. And the book itself actually received a rather lukewarm response. Some people were into it, but a lot of people really called it like, oh, you missed the whole point of your own story or your own book, you know? So some people thought that it was just like, did you miss your own message, you know? So it didn't align with a lot of the core values that the audience that they've actually built up. It didn't align with the values that they actually cherished about the Elf on the Shelf books, right? There's a reason why they cherished it, and they felt like this was kind of like a disrespectful in a sense towards what it was. So it really did not hit with the fan base very well. And the Elf on the Shelf, was treasured because it was a Christmas tradition and people wanted to keep it a Christmas tradition. And so since the series was actually received rather, you know, not so great feelings, people really didn't like it. It lasted from 2013 to 2020. So in 2020, they decided that they were going to stop making the birthday books. So there's no more birthday books any longer after that.
I'm surprised it lasted that long.
Me too, because I'm just like, because the moment I found out, like I didn't even
know there was a birthday one.
I didn't even find out until I did this research. And when I found out in the research, I was immediately like, it didn't sit right with me either, so I can understand where people came from. But I am surprised that it lasted as long as it did. But yeah, so from 2013 to 2020,
I hadn't even heard of a birthday one at all.
And so, despite that not being as successful, they actually decided to expand on the Elf on the Shelf series. They came up with different movies, but on top of that, they decided to release a new series of Elf on the Shelf books, and it's called the Elf Pet series. And these books, so there was 3 plushies. So basically there's 3 plushies, and each book has a different pet with a different mission. So the idea was, they were called the Elf Pet series, and it featured just like the Elf on the Shelf books, it featured a book with a plushie relating to that book. And so, the idea of it was that your elf could actually have help from their pets, and so the elf pets are going to be there to help keep the Christmas magic alive, and it also helps boost Santa's powers when they're there, because each pet's role is to not only help the shelf, but it's to help boost Santa's powers. So here are the release dates of each plushie. So the first Elf Pet series books was released in 2018. It was a Saint Bernard plushie, and there was an animated series that was released not long after the books and the plushies were sold. So in 2018, they had the Elf Pets, and it was a story about the Saint Bernard pet. Then in 2019, they released yet another book, and it's called A Fox Cub's Christmas Tale, and it had an animated special that premiered in June 19, 2019. So it was shortly after the books were published, an animated series was released. And then in 2020, they released a reindeer plushie, and that also came up with an animated series, and it was called Santa's Reindeer Rescue, and that was released on November 1st, 2020. So each of these pets have a special ability. The reindeer collects children's love to grow full size and help power Santa's sleigh. With even the tiniest ray of hope, the Arctic fox lights up the northern lights to spread Christmas cheer, and with a little faith, the Saint Bernard delivers love, kindness to keep the North Pole magic strong. this series was received much better than the birthday ones. And it's considered a very successful series to this day. So in 2026, they're actually still popular and people really, really like them. And I think the reason these were aligning is because it came with the Christmas spirit. Like, it was a part of the Christmas spirit.
Right.
And it stayed with that, but it also just built the story. And on top of building the story, it built a world, you know? And that world is now known as the Santaverse. So they have a world called the Santaverse. And they have a world that's called, they're a part of the Santaverse. So it definitely created a world rather than just being an elf on the shelf. Now there's a whole world relating to it. And that's really what made it kind of like thrive versus the birthday ones, which they're just like, it just didn't align.
Right. The birthday one feels more like, I mean, they all are made to make money, but the birthday one feels more like a cash grab or like a squeeze. And the other one feels way more natural. Like, it fits in. I like that a lot more. It fits in way better.
I think series. So too. I also agree. I feel like this, like, I was excited when I found out about it. And I looked at the plushies, and the plushies are actually really, really cute. I'll show you guys the pictures. Actually, I'll show you guys.
It's adorable.
Hold on. I'll show you guys the picture. So for those of you guys that don't know, this is the Elf on the Shelf series. So you've got the book, and then you've got the elf inside of a case in there. So this is one of the first ones that they publish. It's a little older, but you can see that that's kind of like how the books all came.
Mischievous.
He does. And then after that, we go on to the next one, and it's just like different ideas with them. Some people decide that they would play Jenga with Kit Kats. So a lot of people really, really have fun. So these are the Elf on the Shelf.
Adorable.
They come in different skin tones, and but they all have the same outfit. And this was the first of the animated series called The Elf Story. This was the one that was released there, but now it's available on Netflix.
That animation is unsettling.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
The animation is unsettling.
As much as it's unsettling. Yeah. They're all unsettling.
And then you've got the Elf on the Shelf birthday tradition. And then
I love that they shoved him in a cupcake.
Right?
What's with the hat?
Good enough.
And these are the elf pets. So they've got the book and the plushie right there. And you can see they've got the Arctic fox, they've got the Saint Bernard, and then they've got the reindeer. And so these all have movies attached to them.
Saint Bernard looks haunted.
The fox has
eyes. There's something about its eyes.
The fox has Alexandrite eyes, so it's purple and green. Like it's like the different stitches are purple and green. But that's
was the cutest.
Oh yeah, it's so cute. I really like the Arctic fox, and look at the picture of them. But yeah. That's that's some of the books that you guys can see and you can understand. If you guys have never heard of Elf on the Shelf, welcome to the world of Elf on the Shelf. I hope you enjoyed it. So on to the weird part. Okay. So as many believe, Santa Claus is a tulpa, which a tulpa is something that comes to exist because people believe in it. Kind of like Tinkerbell. I do believe in fairies. I do when you save her life. So that's kind of what a tulpa is. The more you the more you believe in it, the more powerful the tulpa is. But some say that maybe the Elf on the Shelf is also a tulpa, but it's actually some of the research says it seems to align more with an egregore rather than a tulpa. And so there's actually a difference between them. Hold on. I thought I added it to my notes, but apparently I didn't save my notes. So hold on.
I've never heard of the other one.
You've never heard of an egregore? Really? Oh, interesting. I should probably cover the egregore. Okay, so the egregore is basically so an egregore is a autonomous thought form or collective psychic entity created by shared beliefs, emotions, and the energy of an energy of group of people. So it's kind of like a tulpa, but a little different and a little more intense. So a lot of people think that the elf of the shelf could possibly be an egregore. And so, along with the book series that they came up with, there has been a series of animated movies that came out with the elf and the shelf. And they're all a part of what they would now call the Santaverse. And the Santaverse is a rich world around Santa Claus, featuring his magical North Pole, origin stories of the different creatures and elves there, a variety of characters like the Scout Elves, the Elf Mates, Nora the Arctic Fox, Bogey, Frost Pips, and Snow Buggies, which are Yetis. And they're all connected through the books, toys, and digital content. So it's like this own world, and it's now the Santaverse. And the Santaverse also created a fun little website. Like, I actually played in it a little bit today. They made a little like website for kids, and it's just to explore this little tiny area. And it's full of mini games, and it very much reminded me of the gaming sites we would get into in the early 2000s. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the Barbie site, the Monster High site, yes. You know, the little sites that have...
I was thinking Neopets.
Yeah, kind of like that. And so it had what looks like Flash games, but it's not Flash generated, but they're kind of simple games like that. Like, one of them was a game where you had to put different parts in this machine so that the candy will drop in the proper container. So they had a lot of games like that. They have sorting the sweets games. They had, yeah, so it's a cute little website that I would allow my kid to play on it. You can't really interact, like, you don't talk to anyone, so it's just a kid in this website, and it truly hits like my early 2000s nostalgia brain. And there's even some coloring pages, so you can click on the picture and color it, and it actually really kind of like made me smile. And like I said, I spent some time on the website to explore it. So there's like videos of the elf shuffle. There's like a little thing that you can do, arts and craft things that you can print and stuff like that. So it's just a little interactive mini game world, and it's really, really cute. So if you guys want to check it out, it's called santasnorthpole.com. So it's called santasnorthpole.com, and you just get to walk in this world. It's not like intense graphics. It's 2000. It looks like 2000 graphics if you walk around, but it's pretty charming, and I actually really, really enjoyed visiting it. And like I said, I needed a little help with how terrible things are, especially today with the news that we learned. I don't want to get into it right now. We can get into it in the thick and the spooky ghouls, but right now it's just, it was,
You definitely need a little cheer.
It's weird because part of me feels like we needed a Christmas in January. Like, right now we needed this more than we thought. So for me, like, having Christmas in January is kind of giving me a little bit of sanity right now with everything going on in the United States. But that's what I have for the Elf on the Shelf. I think I can save my other topic for a private recording later, and I'll release that on the 1st of February. So it's a very specific one. Unless you guys wanted me to talk about it, then we can talk about it maybe after Miso.
Sassy ones.
Just Sassy saying that he's feeling greedy.
Yeah, he's feeling greedy.
Oh, you want it right now? Do you want me to talk about my other topic right now? Really? We could do it. We could do it. It's just, I feel like I'm hogging the time right now. You're not
hogging time. Plus, you could always cut it to where it could still be its own little, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, that's how you do it anyway. We have different segments, so it's really up to you, love.
Oh,
story time forever, baguette of ducks.
Story time forever. Okay, fine. I'll cover Imbolc. So this one is a fun one. Sure, Birdie. Hold on. Let me warm it up. Actually, no. Why am I warming this up? I just need to do this one instead. Okay, so if you guys wanted to hear about my other topic, since that one was rather short, another topic that I'm covering is, you know how I covered Samhain before, and we got to learn about what Samhain is? Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about Imbolc, which is part of the Samhain pagan festivals. It's part of the whole thing. And so, have you guys ever heard of Imbolc?
I have not.
Birdie?
I have in passing. I've heard it in various different ways it's a winter holiday. And I know that. I also know it has something to do with the winter solstice. It's not Yule, but it's close.
Okay, you're very close. Okay, so um Imbolc is a pagan celebration that takes place on the 1st of February. It marks that the cold time is halfway over. It is a halfway between the winter solstice, aka Yule, and the spring equinox, also known as Ostara. Imbolc has ancient Celtic roots and is associated with the Celtic goddess Brigid. Brigid. And the focus of it is to actually start to welcome the return of light, because from what we talked about, Samhain, New Year's actually starts on October 1st for them, and then they go through the cold winter, which is the time of dark, which is the dark part of the year, and so they have to deal with that until spring. Right. So the dark half of the year is from October 1st all the way until the spring equinox, and that's what they call the dark half of the calendar or of the year. And then the second half is the half of light, which is the time of light, and it's the time to be vibrant. It's the time to gather. It's the time to prepare for the next cold weather. It's the time to greet your friends, for the ones that have survived the cold winters, because back then, they didn't have heating or anything like that like we do now. Like right. we have the comforts of our home and a heating system wherever we live. Back then, that's not what they had. So some people didn't make it through the winter. Like some people, you saw them during Samhain, and then you come back for spring equinox and that person has passed away. So some people you don't see after the winter, and that's why they have such a huge celebration before the dark half of the year. So this is the time of year. So the Imbolc is the in-between the dark, like the cold winter. It's the halfway point of the cold winter right before we finally can get past it. So it's like the second half of winter. And so right. they do a celebration, and they so basically it's to welcome the return of light. It's to get everything set up for spring, because spring is coming, so they have to prepare for becoming lively again, making sure that they are back and ready for figuring out what they're going to plant, what they're going to harvest for the time of light before they have to have the time of rest. So it's the time to start waking up and start to prepare and plan for, like back then they would plan on what crops they were going to plant for the season so that they can start preparing to plant whatever crops they decide to plant for the season. Right. So it's a huge celebration, and and its point is to welcome the light and to set intentions and plans for the coming season, which is the spring season, the beginning of the year of the half of the year of light. So just a little bit about the goddess Brigid. She is a Celtic goddess of fire, wisdom, poetry, healing, and protection, smithing, and even domestic animals. The domestic animals was a newer thing as traditions, went on. She kind of obtained domesticated animals as well. I feel like right. A lot of goddesses kind of just end up being blended as one, and then they just take traits onto each other. It is also suggested that right. She is actually a triple deity, and she has 3 different forms. She's got her form, which is the smithing form. It's the part where she is like the fire part of her is the fire, the magical fire or the sacred flame for the people that do blacksmithing, because blacksmithing was a huge thing that they like. That was that was it. So she was a goddess of that. But she was also known as the goddess of the wisdom and the other part. And then, so she's got 3 different forms, and each form is a different part of who she is. So a lot of people do believe that she is a triple goddess. And so the word Imbolc means in the belly, which is a reference to fertility, and that the earth is about to burst with new life And so Imbolc marks the time of the earth, getting bigger and fuller and getting in the belly so that she can birth new life into the year, the light half of the year, right? Because a lot of loss happened during the time of dark, and now it's time to celebrate life with new life. And so so it's kind of like the symbol of the prep for springtime. So it's in the belly and about to give birth to spring. You know what I mean? And so springtime is a time for love and a time for some baby making. So Imbolc is a time to reflect on what you wish to plant and harvest for the season, literally and figuratively, not just on your crops, but it's also a time for you personally to set your intentions and your goals for yourself in improving spiritually. So it's symbolic and also literal. Like it's both symbolic and literal, And it's a time to start setting your goals, your intentions, and think about what you want your year to bring. Like you want to think about what the time of light is going to bring into you, right? And so naturally, rather than like a lot of witches naturally don't actually do New Year's resolutions or anything like that. They don't actually do it in January. For them, January is a time of rest. And then you don't set your intentions until Imbolc, which is February 1st. So you actually don't set your resolutions until the 1st of February. And that's just the traditional way of it. So some witches actually do practice that rather than New Year's. And so, so naturally, rather than setting up resolutions in January, it was actually done in February instead, right at the very beginning of spring, which is interesting because in most of Asian cultures or most places that still use the lunar calendar, New Year's is usually in February as well. And another fun fact, I learned a lot about calendars doing my research for this, you guys. I learned so much about calendars and the different types, the solar calendar, the lunisolar, the lunar, the Julian, and the Gregorian. So fun fact, you know how, oh my God, you know how the United States, or not the United States, how the United States has a specific year. We also have specific measurements versus the rest of the country. Mm-hmm. So the United States was actually under the Julian calendar, which is a variant of the solar calendar. And it didn't switch to the Gregorian calendar, which is the calendar we use now, which we didn't switch into it until 1752. So we had two different calendars in the United States before that. So yeah, we had the Julian calendar before, and we switched to the Gregorian calendar in 1752. So I thought that was kind of cool. I also thought it was really cool to learn the different calendars and what they mean and why they had to make the changes and the adjustments that they had to do with other calendars because it didn't line up with. Anyways, it was fun. It was a fun read, but also I'm like, why am I so into calendars all of a sudden? I don't know. It was weird, but also
I mean, it's very interesting.
I thought it was interesting. I was just like, oh yeah, because I never thought about calendars until, I just didn't think about it. So we started
learning about calendars. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought it was really, really interesting, especially since I learned a lot about the way the calendar that Samhain was based off of. I learned a lot about that during the Samhain and learned about the dark half and the light half of the year. So it just fed into that in this calendar research. It just came in. So sorry guys. Old traditions for Imbolc. So the old traditions actually for celebrating Imbolc involved lighting bonfires, and these bonfires were lit in honor of goddess Brigid, which she's the goddess of fire, And so another tradition that they would do besides lighting bonfires, which I think I need to clean the thing and actually do a bonfire on the 1st of February. I think I might do that. So Birdie, if you're interested, Baguette, if you're interested. All right, so aside from the bonfires, girls would actually bless houses by carrying dolls that represent the goddess Brigid, and they are made out of straw and oats. So during the time of Imbolc, a lot of kids will make their own little straw doll, and the girls would walk around and they would bring it into their homes, and the doll itself would bless their home. So a lot of kids would carry around a straw doll for Imbolc. It was also common practice for them to tie offerings, which are strips of clothes, strips of cloth, not clothes, cloth, to a tree near the springs, and they would call them Clootie Wells. And so basically, it was a part of a healing ritual, and its intention is for illness to fade as the cloth starts to decay. And so pagans often link this practice with water spirits as well. So a lot of people, water is like a healing magic, is another way of people, like a lot of people that think that elements have different things. Water is meant for healing, fires for purification, stuff like that. So each element has its own specific task. And then air is for your like the wind is for your breath, you know? And so traditionally they would eat lamb and dishes with garlic as part of the festivities. And that's because around the time of Imbolc is around the time that spring is starting. So wild garlic would start to surface from the snow. And because it would start to surface from the snow, it would be one of the things that they can harvest. So a part of Imbolc is collecting what the earth is giving you and preparing meals with what the earth is giving you. So whatever you can scavenge, that's what that's like what the earth is giving you. And so that's why they believe it is what they should serve for the Imbolc celebrations. So on top of that, the reason they eat lamb is because sheep would have their lambs around Imbolc. They usually have early, like they come before spring. Babies for for sheep come before spring, and so lambs were another tradition one because it's that there's baby lambs being born as well. So part of the festivities is baby lamb, garlic, and any herbs that the earth has provided for you to consume. You know, so that's like the classic tradition. Fire is very, very important for these traditions, because not only was fire used for purification rituals, but it also deeply connected with Goddess Brigid's sacred flame and her connection to blacksmithing. And like many, Imbolc was
Hello?
I had to, I'm like...
Oh, you're good.
I was speaking too fast.
You're delayed, so I was like, oh no.
I had to slow down. Okay. I had to drink some water. There we go. We're good. We're good. All right. So where were we? Okay. So actually, like many traditions, Imbolc was a tradition that was eventually adopted by the Christians, Catholics, and Imbolc's traditions inspire what we now know as Candlemas. Candlemas is a Christian feast that marks the purification of Virgin Mary and symbolizes Jesus Christ is the light of the world. So, of course, they take a holiday meant to honor a goddess and replace it with a man. And then on top of that, the need to purify women.
Yep. Classic. Stereotypical.
So, for
also,
those of
Sassy said we used to make them in school.
Wait, you used to make the dolls at school? Oh, that's a fun tradition. Cool. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, man. So, yeah, I was like, as soon as I was reading this, and as soon as I learned like that it was another tradition taken by the Christians, the Christian beliefs or the Catholics' beliefs, I was so frustrated. And then to hear what they changed it to.
They love to take any kind of like pagan-esque thing and warp it.
I'm sorry, but they just seem to really hate women. I don't know. Like, they could not just let the goddess, you know, they're like, oh no, the goddess cannot be worshipped. No. Jesus Christ is the light of the world. And Virgin Mary had to be purified. So,
blame the Romans.
Right. Yep. I do. But, yeah, so the tradition was taken and changed into Candlemas, and Candlemas has its own thing. But a lot of the pagan traditions were borrowed and altered for the Christian religion, like Christmas was, like Easter was, you know, Halloween is, or Samhain, you know, just like a lot of stealing of traditions and making it their own. So for the more modern, did you guys see my sister? Oh, my sister! Hi, sister. So the more modern traditions for celebrating Imbolc, because it's still very popularly celebrated, and it's it's actually very it's one of those traditions that are also really big in the witch community. And so, or the people that are more into spiritual practice like that are more attuned with earth, it is still something that they celebrate. And the way they do it now is through candlelight rituals to symbolize welcoming in the light. So lighting all sorts of candles. And then after that, creating your own Goddess Bridget dolls, which, as you can see, Sassy Squatch made some at school. And people would make them with straws and seeds. And some have also adopted some of the Christian things, because the Christians took making the dolls and actually took the making of the dolls portion of the Imbolc celebrations to the crafting of crosses for Candlemas. So some people actually create the Bridget dolls, and other people make crosses that kind of like, it's kind of like a tradition that kind of snuck in with that as well. So some people make crosses as well for it.
Right.
No, she's fine. And so, so some people would make crosses and dolls to enjoy the tradition. And the reason for making the dolls and the cross is actually for protection, because it protects your home. So a lot of people create crosses and stuff like that as part of Imbolc's. Imbolc's celebration is a protection, you know, so a doll of protection or the cross of protection. And then there's a lot of cleansing and purification rituals that take place. Another common practice is spring cleaning, sweeping away the stagnation of winter. So just sweeping away the cold from your home and making it exit your home to welcome in the warmth and the light. And then some people will take cleansing baths. And so they would create a bath ritual, and they'll utilize ingredients for nourishing and purifying. These ingredients include salt, lavender, rosemary, honey, milk. And another thing that they do for Imbolc is preparing dairy-based feast with early spring vegetables to keep the tradition of eating what nature has given you. And then a lot of nature walks are really great. It's another tradition that they do, is they do nature walks, because it allows you to go out of your home, embrace the light and taking it into yourself, and then kind of shake off the winter. So taking a walk out in nature is a good way to celebrate it, so that you can get some sunshine in and cleanse the winter away and basically warm your soul. I'm sorry, Bubba, I'm busy. But
I like that.
Oh, and Sassy said they did both. Oh my goodness. So that's a little bit about Imbolc. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was the second topic I was going to cover.
I love that. And I had never heard of it.
Really? Oh, okay. Good. Birdie, what'd you think?
I am happy. I now know more.
Good. Yeah, I really...
Go on. I feel like I've seen people using those... I forgot what the type of broom is called, but like kind of the old school broom, like that are like twig looking almost, to sweep, you know what I mean? Sweep outdoor doors. Like, I think maybe that's might be connected to that. I've seen something similar to that before, and I wonder if that's related.
Maybe. What do they do?
They sweep out like their front, like out their front door, like.
Yeah, it's to sweep out the cold.
I've seen that.
Yeah, that's a very common practice. Yes,
I like that.
Mm-hmm. I really, after learning more about it, the more I'm excited for it, because I actually find it to be a very beautiful tradition. And
I think it's really sweet.
I really enjoyed learning more about it, and I like how they have meaning behind everything. It's not just like empty calories. There's a reason for each thing that they do, and I think that that's absolutely wonderful. So I'm really, really excited. It's a boggish holiday.
What does that
mean,
Sassy?
A bogish? Is it bogish? Boggish? I don't know. Gigi, no. Sorry, you guys, the dog. I'm gonna have to probably mute my mic after my segments.
Oh, poor baby. That's okay.
Yeah. But that's what I had for Imbolc. So I hope you guys enjoyed my second topic.
I love that.
I liked it too.
I think that's such a cute little tradition. I think, like you said, it's very feels very wholesome, very refreshing. Like it's you're refreshing after winter and kind of starting anew. I like that.
Yeah, so that's my portion of the podcast. Let's go ahead and run a quick ad real quickly, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes time. I need to refresh my water and get my energy drink set up. So give us about 3 minutes.
I'm about to go get some coffee.
Yeah, go get some coffee.
My ass off.
Birdie, if you wanted to get your notes ready or anything like that, go ahead and get that set up unless it's already set. So let's go ahead and we'll come back. I love you guys.
See y'all later.
I love you.
We'll stay thick.
And you stay spooky.